The Eight Lords waited quietly. Among the innate primordial life camp's 9 emperors, initial and mother of spacetime, are included because of their undying and undying status, as their attack abilities rank middle to lower among the ancestors. However, the other 7 have extremely terrifying strength. It's time. At this moment, the Eight Lords were poised to strike. The entire infinite primordial space, with some beings of the same level, were watching from afar. Boom! Suddenly, the always calm initial ancestor erupted with an extremely dazzling light on the surface, encompassing a vast area with infinite brilliance. At the same moment, 35 ancestors also appeared within the area illuminated by this light. The previously hidden ancestors all revealed themselves as well. A total of 105 ancestors completely gathered, except for a few newly advanced ancestors, those who refused to follow orders, and severely injured ancestors. The rest have completely assembled. Led by the 9 emperors, a total of 105 ancestors gathered here. Destroy the cultivator lords, annihilate them. This time, the innate primordial life camp had long prepared a plan, and the moment they gathered, they unleashed their fury without reservation. The highest level of power mastered by the 105 ancestors, after a simple coordination, overwhelmed the 8 lords of the cultivators like a tidal wave. Rumble tilde approximately tilde, the power and domain of the 8 lords, under the array formation deployment, fully resisted. But it only slightly hindered the attack before the endless terrifying onslaught fell upon Wu Lan and Luo Feng. This might, the expressions of Golden Lord, Lord Mo Man, Lord Ming Huang, and Lord Nigel changed. In the face of the absolute power of over 100 ancestors combined, unless one's ability to preserve their life is incredibly strong, they would be utterly destroyed. The main battle avatars of these four couldn't resist such power. Yuan and Starlight also could only dodge in the face of such might. But in this collective confrontation, while they both could dodge, the other lords couldn't. Boom! Luo Feng and Wu Lan both felt the endlessly heavy might crushing down on them. Ha ha ha, exhilarating. Wu Lan laughed loudly, even wanting to actively intercept many powers. His massive body formed by primordial material continuously sustaining injuries, but he didn't care about these injuries. Target Luo Feng. The ancestors' side tried to avoid Wu Lan as much as possible, so even if Wu Lan actively wanted to intercept, he could only block about half of the power. The remaining half of the power fell on Luo Feng. The various highest level powers wantonly fell on Luo Feng, corroding, destroying, and wreaking havoc. The pressure is a bit much. The protective energy layer on Luo Feng's surface was penetrated again and again, and 10 billion 8 million origins frantically replenishing, along with various forces tearing at and destroying Luo Feng's body. Luo Feng's body cracked with many wounds, staining part of his body with blood, with much more severe injuries. But Luo Feng's physical body only accounted for one portion of energy, while 10 billion 8 million origins accounted for 10 portions of energy. Even if the physical body was severely injured, Luo Feng, with his terrifying life force, could partially restore from the void. Plus, with the recovery of 10 billion 8 million origins, the physical condition was still within the bearable range. Instead, the protective energy layer consumption was somewhat significant. In the span of a breath, approximately 5% of the energy reserve is consumed, Luo Feng sensed. Previously, facing 73 ancestors, Luo Feng would consume 1% of the energy reserve in the battle array within the span of a breath. Now, it had increased 5-fold. Clearly, as the power continued to rise, the damage to Luo Feng would increase exponentially. If the power reached a certain limit, Luo Feng's main battle avatar could also be blasted apart. This Luo Feng withstood it. The numerous ancestors led by the 9 emperors were secretly surprised. They could sense that Luo Feng's body was significantly less resilient than Wu Lan's body, with much more severe injuries. Yet Luo Feng withstood it, continuously maintaining in the pinnacle state. You should also try our Lord's tricks. A voice rang among the many ancestors. Lord Mo Man burned his main battle avatar, and the vast spacetime where the ancestors resided suddenly turned into countless musical notes, vibrating. The entire spacetime turned into a song, echoing in every ancestor's soul, for the invisible attack, targeting both body and soul. Group tactics, no ancestor could avoid it. They could only endure it. The 10+ ancestors who were severely injured last time although somewhat recovered after 10 days of truce with the help of their companions, still had 3 with rather severe injuries, which suddenly worsened in the face of Lord Mo-Man's move. "Ho ho, this time we shall kill a few more ancestors." Jin's voice also rang. He burned all his power into 13 black spheres, which appeared in the area where the ancestors were, erupting instantly and obliterating the surrounding vast area. Subsequently, brilliant golden lightning also descended, striking one by one, locking onto enemies with no escape. Ignore it. Annihilate them quickly. While Mo-Man, Jin, and Ming Huang were launching moves one after another, the 9 emperors remained unfazed, having already understood the Lord's means, naturally having countermeasures. They couldn't stop these Lord's lethal strikes, so they didn't bother defending them. Arranged for the Infinite Ancestor, in cooperation with Mother of Spacetime, Initial coordinated to save some severely injured ancestors, whereas the other 6 of the extremely powerful 9 emperors led the ancestors in a full-force attack. Wu-Lan, along with an earth-shattering roar, Infinite Snake Ancestor roared. Its gigantic figure instantly became blurred, its blurred figure enlarging by 1,000-fold, tens of thousands of times, making it much larger than all the ancestors combined. It bore the name of Infinite. It could indeed become infinitely large, with the largest size even bigger than an entire world cluster, and it could also fuse with the infinite void, becoming completely undying and imperishable. Only in that state, it had no attack power. First, it became huge and covered Wu-Lan. Then, it instantly condensed and shrank. An immense serpent's body confined Wu-Lan completely at the abdomen. Furthermore, 2 terrifying forces merged into the serpent's body, one being the silent extinction ancestor, transforming into a mass of black light wrapping around half of Wu-Lan's body. The other was the Inference Fire Ancestor, resembling a flaming star, enveloping the other half of Wu-Lan's body. The Infinite Snake Ancestor, Inference Fire Ancestor, and Silent Extinction Ancestor, all well versed in confinement, joined forces, making it difficult for even Wu-Lan's formidable body to escape. Previously, the Inference Fire Ancestor had devoured Wu-Lan, confining her for about a breath of time. Now, with 3 of them working together, Wu-Lan could not break free at all. Wu-Lan struggled with all her might. Despite their Lord-level combat power, and with their cooperation, Wu-Lan couldn't break free regardless of her strength. Extinguish Luo Feng. At this moment, 2 ancestors were severely injured and hid within the initial ancestor's body. As the 3 Infinite Snake Ancestors held Wu-Lan in check, exactly 100 ancestors remained. These 100 ancestors acted together, weaving a tapestry of highest level powers directed at Luo Feng. Although missing 3 of the strongest among the 9 emperors, the Infinite Snake Ancestor, Inference Fire Ancestor, and Silent Extinction Ancestor as commanders, the overall strength of these 100 ancestors decreased by at least 20%, yet this show of power still frightened Luo Feng. Spacetime maze. The Starlight Lord took action. Among the ancestors, the highest void attainment belonged to the Infinite Snake Ancestor, who repeatedly clashed secretly with the Starlight Lord. Though disadvantaged, it indeed impacted the Starlight Lord's spacetime techniques. Currently, the Infinite Snake Ancestor needed to fully suppress Wu-Lan within. Wu-Lan's resistance was too strong. In this situation, the Infinite Snake Ancestor couldn't fully manipulate the void. As for the Mother of Spacetime, her void attainment was not up to par with the Infinite Snake Ancestor, and her time attainment was far less than the Starlight. Booming. The terrifying power unleashed by the 100 ancestors caused the spacetime maze to be fragmented in the face of absolute might, yet it still forcibly redirected 3 to 4/10ths of the power, with the remaining power then impacting the battle array. After being blocked and weakened by the formation, it finally fell upon Luo Feng, who felt it was only about 10% stronger than before, still within the bearable range. This Starlight Lord, the ancestor side, was also troubled. With the Infinite Snake Ancestor fully suppressing Wu-Lan, the Starlight Lord could unleash his spacetime methods freely. Boom! Amid the terrifying power from the ancestor side, an immense, colossal figure took a step to appear near Luo Feng. Its size was immense, several times larger than Wu-Lan. Its entire body was covered with black golden scales, its enormous wings were exceedingly sharp, and a massive circle of colorful light surrounded it, with endless black mist permeating its surroundings. Giant God Emperor. Primordial Beast Ancestor. Black Tide Ancestor. Luo Feng recognized them at a glance. That immense colorful light domain was transformed by one of the 9 emperors, the Primordial Beast Ancestor, whose body constituted the most terrifying domain in the infinite primordial space. Within their domain, even the Starlight Lord couldn't manipulate any void power. If closely observed, one could see that the enormous colorful light domain was actually a fat giant beast with colorful hair. For every part in the domain was its hair, its body. Other strong figures naturally couldn't manipulate any void power. The Starlight Lord could only escape this domain using the timeline. Outside the colorful light domain, the endless black mist was the transformed body of the Black Tide Ancestor. The Black Tide Ancestor turned into an endless black tide disaster. It was also a disaster domain power. Its domain suppression was weaker than the Primordial Beast Ancestor, yet various disasters befell upon enemies within. The Black Tide Disaster Domain and Primordial Beast Ancestor Domain, dual domains enveloped the body, combined with its most terrifying body. In this state, the giant God Emperor had no weaknesses. Bang! It carried the massive domains, tearing through the void to appear in front of Luo Feng's scram. Luo Feng slashed out a fierce blade. The blade light roared past the Black Tide Disaster Domain, then through the stronger Primordial Beast Ancestor colorful light domain. The blade light was thoroughly submerged, unable to even touch the terrifying body of the giant God Emperor. The giant God Emperor approached, with massive arms ready to embrace, and huge wings covered forth. Even the colorful light domain and the Black Tide domain engulfed Luo Feng. This domain, the various disaster powers of the Black Tide domain, did not bother Luo Feng, as his endless life force could resist. But the bindings of the Black Tide domain and the endless colorful light shrouding and binding made every movement extremely laborious for Luo Feng. As the giant God Emperor's arms and wings enveloped him, Luo Feng couldn't evade, being embraced in an instant. Under the onslaught of 100 ancestors, the battle array of the Lord's side was already under great stress. With the giant God Emperor and the others working together, Luo Feng's movement technique was not as proficient as that of the Starlight Lord and others. Crucially, he was resisting the ancestors' encirclement, unable to hide or escape. A mere face-off, and he was entangled by the giant God Emperor and the others. Good. Target the 2 with the strongest physical bodies. The ancestors were invigorated. Among the 8 lords, Wu Lan and Luo Feng were the most capable of withstanding power, playing a significant role in the battle array, especially Luo Feng, who could quickly restore his companions to the pinnacle. To deal with Luo Feng and Wu Lan, previously the strength of the Infinite Snake Ancestors and others was insufficient, and the Infinite Snake Ancestor, Silent Extinction Ancestor, Inference Fire Ancestor together could only ensure confining one. With the giant God Emperor and the others together, they could ensure the confinement of another lord. Who'd after confining Luo Feng, the giant God Emperor and the others immediately retreated as their enormous sizes and broad domain ranges significantly affected the other ancestors' encirclement. Upon this retreat, the giant God Emperor and the others withdrew into the group of ancestors. Confine me, with the giant God Emperor and others jointly suppressing him. As Luo Feng entered the ancestor group, his eyes turned icy. Explode for me. In an instant, Luo Feng's physical body vanished. His physical body transformed into energy, all of it pouring into the 10,000,000,008,000,000 origins. The 10,000,000,008,000,000 origins was already saturated with energy. As it was forcibly poured, the 10,000,008,000,000 origins suddenly contracted. Subsequently, it erupted into an endless, dazzling energy storm, instantly shredding all obstructions and bindings. Bang, 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 bang.